overcome some of those deficiencies tonight. Be very interesting to see. Arkansas in red, Mizzou in white. Another great crowd in Como. We are underway as Arkansas will have it first. It'll be in the hands of Layden Blocker. Arkansas, a team that has been desperately trying to find a consistent voice at the point guard spot. This is Battle on the attack. Battle takes it up and in, pops out. Loose basketball, a scrum, and our first jump ball with the arrow going to Mizzou.
Mizzou opened up in a man-to-man, but I fully expect them to play zone as we saw them play zone Saturday successfully against South Carolina.
You see the starting five for Mizzou. East and Bates really have been the bucket getters for Missouri. It's a team that does not have the depth that it did last year and lost a couple of pros, including Kobe Brown, the All-SEC performer. Dangerous pass over the shoulder to Honor.
Both these teams playing shorthanded.
Inside, and a two-hand slam attempt by the freshman 7-footer Jordan Butler. And they'd like to see more aggressive plays by the young man out of Greenville, South Carolina.
That's good execution in the half court with the short roll by Butler. At South Carolina the other night, he started as well, played more than 13 minutes, had a couple of points and a couple of rebounds.
Missouri had 40 points in the paint in that loss to South Carolina. You and I were in the other Columbia for that game, and it was a frequent trend for Mizzou. They have been in almost every game. We had their sports information director look it up. In the final 5 minutes of SEC games this year, they've been trailing by an average of 4 points. That was the case again. Another close game down to the wire. They've just come up on the wrong end of the stick. Layden Blocker, the four-star freshman, up top. Over to Battle.
Here's the zone early.
And there is the silky smooth Tremont Mark, the transfer from Houston, averaging 17.5 points per game.
Exactly what I said in the open. He seems to be a master in the mid-range.
We are going to see a lot of zone in this game, presumably by both teams. If practice is any indication, Mark, and I watched both teams work on it a lot.
Mike, you and I were talking earlier today after watching boot teams at shoot-around. You would not know that between these two teams, they only have one league win. The way they went at it, the crispness of shoot-around, I don't even think it's shoot-around anymore. It's pre-game practice, if you will.
Much, yeah.
But both teams were engaged. They were into it. It was fast-paced.
It's an excellent point because we've both seen teams, as you see, a long-range three dialed up by Battle, who shoots 38% of the year from downtown. These are two teams in conference play that have really struggled with the three ball, 13th and 14th in the league.
Battle known more as a catch-and-shoot guy.
Three ball by Jordan Butler pops out.
Has made 4 on the year. This is where Mark is really good, I think, in transition. Fumbles through that possession.
Butler got his hands on it. Battle on the attack, drive and kick. They work it around into the hands of Mark.
One of the challenges for this roster for Arkansas, they really play without a true point guard.
Strong drive, but nothing for Jalen Graham, the transfer from Arizona State.
Mizzou did not capitalize. Arkansas had nobody back.
And a bump foul on a belly up by Jalen Graham. Just to go back to your initial point, because I think it's worth repeating. You see those conference marks. You see two teams that were both in the NCAA tournament last year and certainly had similar plans this year. But you and I have been around long enough to know when teams are struggling like this, sometimes a team will, I don't want to say lay down, but not give maximum effort.
Right.
That is not the case. These teams have both been playing hard night in, night out.
Yeah, we haven't seen that so far in practice today or here in the early going.
East up top.
I don't like that pass because it has too much air on it. But again, both teams, they need to shoot the ball better from the arc, and so far, so good.
The pride of Dubuque, Iowa, Noah Carter, who's a big fisherman. He was fishing for a three ball there.
So the weak spot of the 2-3 is the free throw line area where Mark is hanging out in the short corner.
Carter picks up the foul, trying to interrupt the alley-oop to Jalen Graham.
Take another look at this last pass back by East. It has a little too much air on it for my liking, but Carter was so open. The closeout was a little late. Carter on the year just 28%.
And these two teams have both struggled in two particular areas, three-point shooting and rebounding. Mark caught a Mizzou sandwich in the corner, and that'll be a turnover.
That's one of the things Mizzou worked on at shoot-around today. They knew that Arkansas likes to throw that ball inside, in on the out-under to the corner, and they were working on that in the shoot-around.
Mark, give me one thing from each of these teams that, again, have struggled that you'd like to see them do better to win this game.
Boards. Board better. All 5 to the defensive glass. These two teams are 13th and 14th in league play in rebound margin.
Both operating in the red in that category. East throws it high off the glass. Battle boards it for the Razorbacks. Battle crosses over, Euro, and then dumps it off. Now it's Mark in the trees. Stripped away by East. Great hands, and another tie-up. This time Arkansas will maintain possession on the arrow.
We talk about what's gone wrong in league play. Both, and I've talked about the rebound margin. Arkansas's three-point shooting has not been very good. And the free throw differential between what Missouri shoots a game versus their opponents, they're taking 10 fewer free throw attempts. So if one of these teams can turn one of those areas into a positive, they might come out on top tonight.
It would certainly be advantageous to do that. That shot right over the 7'5" Vanover, off the window and in. Inside, they try to sneak it into Vanover, and it's knocked out of bounds. And it will remain Missouri basketball.
The size that Arkansas plays with in this starting lineup is going to impact some of the passing, I think, by East and Honor.
Honor triggered in from the baseline. And bad pass sails over Carter. 2-on-1. Battle all the way. Rejected by Carter. Battle took it to Carter's side. The 5 guys you just saw on the screen are 5 guys that a number of programs in the country would have loved to have picked up in the portal.
Yes.
But for whatever reasons, a number of them, the numbers are down from where they were a year ago. They have not lived up to some of the expectations, and if you want to pinpoint why Arkansas is where they're at, it all starts there. You lose some great players, and the new guys you brought in so far have not given you everything you had hoped for. Jalen Graham is one of those new players. A transfer from Arizona State gets the bucket.
He's off to a good start, and that would really help in terms of Muss's roster with this particular team. And of course, they're playing shorthanded tonight with Brazil not in the lineup.
And Brazil is out officially with what they're calling a sore knee, and that is their rim protector. That is a guy that certainly has a bright future at the next level, but without him in there, Mark, it's noticeably a much smaller and less lethal team at the rim.
Fewer options in terms of rotating players through that 4 and 5 position. Now, Mitchell was sensational against Kentucky on the weekend in terms of his production. Had a double-double, 4 blocks. But when you look at Arkansas and their assist to turnover ratio from players in the backcourt, whether you're talking about Mark or Battle or Davis or Ellis or Davenport, Minifield, only Davis has a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Everybody else is like 1-to-1. And in a league of great point guards, that won't get it done.
Well, you said it. I mean, the class of point guards in the SEC this year, I don't know if it's all-time good, but if you look 1 through 10, I can't think of a year where it's been this deep.
We saw one of them last night, again leading South Carolina to a great win.
3 ball from the corner. Carter can't finish. There's Vanover using that 7'5" frame to clean things up.
Yeah, both teams, I mentioned earlier, struggle on the glass. Now, Mizzou back into the zone. There's 2 ways to beat a team in a zone. You either shoot them out or you rebound them out.
There's the shot approach, and that'll work just fine. That's Khalil Battle on the triple.
When he gets hot, he can light it up in a hurry. He's had 5 games of 20 or more, but all in the non-conference.
Hey, let me tell you something. Connor Vanover at 7'5" can hit that shot. You and I were here an hour before they got practice started. There was one guy on the floor shooting, and it was number 75 in white. Lob pass down low, and they got Carter on a hold. K.D. Burdett, Jeffrey Anderson, Olandis Poole, who blew the whistle on that foul.
But that was Vanover's just 4th made 3 of the year. Take another look. 7'5". He's got great shooting for him.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's got the
Release
stroke.
is perfect. And then Battle, who has really deep range with his 3-ball. 38% on the year. Remember Battle against Duke in that great win that Arkansas had. He had 21. He had a great game. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, made 3 threes.
Mark hunting a 3. That was a deep 2 as it turned out. And now East getting the transition going for Missouri, who will peel back and set it up in the half court. East around the screen from Shaw. Got away with an extra step, missed the shot. Oh, that almost went in. And finally cradling the rebound in traffic is Mekhi Mitchell, who's celebrating his 24th birthday today. Battle weaving his way through traffic, but coughed it up. Bates on a run out. Numbers, alley-oop, and goodness gracious. Missouri got a little flashy, and that'll drive head coach Dennis Gates crazy. That was easy deuce given up.
So I like what Minifield did there in terms of that possession. He caught the ball and evaluated, got people organized. That's a point guard in learning.
3 turnovers now on Missouri. Shot clock at 5. Double pump, but they're knifing in, and finding daylight for the rebound is Chandler Lawson, the transfer from Memphis.
You've heard me talk about air balls are the most difficult for a defender because there's a timing element to rebounding when the ball hits the rim, and when it doesn't, it throws off the timing.
Bates on a pull-up. He's normally good for 2 on that shot. How do you like the pace of this game so far?
It's much faster than I thought it might be.
These 2 teams, a great rivalry that goes back several years. Even when they were not in the SEC, they were playing every year as border rivals. 61st meeting between the 2 schools.
Musk, in his press conference after the Kentucky game, talking about having to change the tempo for his team, and felt like it helped his team out on the defensive end.
Razorbacks play it in from the baseline into Mack. Davenport in the game now, as well as Minifield inside, setting up the 2-hand slam for Mitchell. That was set up by Minifield, Kenyon Minifield, who they thought might have to redshirt, the transfer from Washington. Blow by and drawing a foul on the penetration is Anthony Robinson, who's back in the lineup for Mizzou as we step aside. This league than Talon Cooper. Pretty strong praise.
High praise.
Cooper has been outstanding for Lamont Paris and the Gamecocks, who have been one of the best stories not only in the league but really in the country, as they'll be poised to enter the top 25.
Arkansas did a good job defending the out-under, the flex action.
Honor got caught in heavy traffic, and that will be a shot clock violation and a turnover. Now, Missouri last year, I thought Demoy Hodge was one of the most underrated players in the league. He did lead the league in steals. He was one of the best shooters. And then, of course, Kobe Brown was a bucket getter anytime you needed, so you could give it to him at any place on the floor, any time in the game, and you felt good about it. You don't have those kind of options this year.
Similar to what we talked about with Arkansas. It's hard to replace a Kobe Brown as Demoy Hodge. Kobe Brown was the guy who got him to the free throw line.
Kobe Brown enjoying life with the LA Clippers in the NBA right now. The SEC, more players in the association than any other conference in college basketball. Over 90 guys on NBA rosters. Davenport pulls the trigger on a 3. Tapped around, another offensive rebound for Arkansas.
He's again dribbling without going anywhere. I bragged on Minifield. That time he didn't go anywhere with his dribble.
Arkansas third turnover for the Razorbacks, and Missouri gives it right back
Watch
to Mark.
out.
Spin move all the way and a slam. High soaring Tremont Mark with a bucket, a steal, and a slam.
Just anticipated that pass back to the top.
Arkansas has its largest lead now, 8 points. Where does Missouri turn for offense? Usually the answer is this guy, Tamar Bates. Flips it up at the rim, missed it. And a good box out by Mitchell.
Mitchell gives them a physical presence on the defensive glass, doesn't he?
Sure does. Veteran Mitchell taking it in on his birthday, trying to get an and one.
Yeah, Dennis Gates wanted to foul on the other end with Bates. Take another look, though, on the pass back up the sideline. Watch Mark, he was reading it the whole time. The correct hand is out, it's his left, and therefore he forces the turnover, gets the steal, and the easy deuce.
Now Arkansas starting to show you why this was a team that was preseason top 20, picked in the upper third of the SEC. They have talent, and they've been in a lot of games, including the last one, a tough loss at home to the Kentucky Wildcats. That was a 2-point game at the half.
But Mike, you got to make shots.
Yes.
And when you're making just over 5 threes a game and shooting in the 20%, again, it's hard to win games.
26% to your point in conference play. Look at that bounce.
You would never get that bounce at the Carnival.
No. Give them a stuffed animal or two. Now the lead is 10. Arkansas, to your point, 26% from downtown in league play. That is dead last. Missouri, not much better, 13th in that category at 28%. And Carter bumped and fouled by Davenport.
Arkansas trying to blow up the screening action. That was an easy call. Davenport just ran over Carter. Again, this is a Mizzou team that if Bates and East are not scoring, they can go on droughts. They can find themselves in offensive quicksand.
Carter, the Bates up top. Bates, as you mentioned, the master of the mid-range.
Yep. 2 left-handers who score a boatload of points inside the arc.
Battle pushed by East from behind.
Bates is really good at creating his own look because he can elevate with his jump shot so high. Creates the space, gets the shot off, and his field goal shooting in the last 10 games has been absolutely ridiculous for a perimeter player. 59%.
Former Indiana Hoosier. Benefield. Slides in. There's Mitchell to clean it up. Mitchell having a very active first 11 minutes of this game.
But the guards from Missouri have to get involved on the glass. They got caught watching.
6 points, 4 rebounds already for Mitchell. Hitting the deck and trying to get a whistle was Bates, no call. Here comes Arkansas, somebody's open, there's the 3 ball from the corner, nothing but net for Benefield and a quick timeout for Missouri. Arkansas hitting on all cylinders, now 10 for 19 from the field and 3 for 4 from downtown.
Your transition defense usually starts with a poor shot on one end. Watch again as the drive, and watch the 3 guards for Missouri. They've all got to get in the paint. You've got to help out defensively. The extra pass, I love the pass by Battle. Minifield 32% on the year. Remember, he had that great game against UNCW where he went for 32. And Arkansas playing very well on the road. This is the way you want to open up.
It's a 13-2 run. We talked about the 3-point shooting. You know, last year, that was the one thing Arkansas did not do well.
Right.
And they brought in all these transfers to improve what? 3-point shooting. Well, it hasn't really improved. Yeah. 31.3, 31.7. But here they are lighting it up so far.
That's why every game has a life of its own. one game doesn't necessarily carry over to the next.
Well, if you look at the career numbers of the guys that they brought in, they are a statistical paradox, Arkansas is.
Yeah.
They should be shooting the basketball better than what they are.
Well, now can Mizzou answer?
A 13-3 Arkansas run. Vanover left alone. Too strong. Nice rebound hustling in by Nick Honor, the smallest guy on the floor. Kick out. Carter on a triple. Got it.
On cue. Go to the offensive glass, get a second chance opportunity.
And now we see the Missouri zone. You and I watched this zone cause Carolina fits early on before the Gamecocks started to figure it out. Mitchell on the 7-footer, gets the follow. It's his 24th birthday, and he's blowing some candles off the cake right now. 15-5 Arkansas run over the last 6 minutes and change.
Mizzou searching for offense. Right now, the
Interviewed a bunch of guys. You're going to take the job. He wound up taking it. He wound up coaching several years at Rapid City and then a Florida team in West Palm Beach in the CBA. That eventually led to some NBA stints with Golden State and Sacramento. But it all starts with Rapid City, the Thrillers, Mark Wise.
And what did he say about the advice about the players he needed to take in terms of taking the players from Vegas and Indiana?
Yeah, two spots in particular. He was told by, again, Father Bill Musselman, you're going to take them from UNLV and Jerry Tarkanian because they got junkyard dogs, and you're going to take it from Indiana because they know how to play ball under Bobby Knight. That was the strategy, and several of those former players, former Runnin' Rebs and Hoosiers, went on to play for Eric Musselman, a couple of them now on his staff.
There's the soft spot.
Mitchell.
They're going to let Vanover play one-on-one. How
Mitchell.
about Mitchell?
Mitchell going to work. Mitchell now 8 points, 5 rebounds. The Razorbacks 16 points in the paint. East on a double pump. Might have got blocked from behind. Picks up the loose change and finds Vanover.
Sometimes it's better to be in the right place at the right time.
7 points now for Vanover. Drive and kick and a two-hand slam. An easy bucket for Chandler Lawson.
That's a quick timeout because I don't think Dennis Gates liked the rim protection there.
Now Arkansas is feasting in the paint right now against Missouri. A lot of easy baskets.
We talked about Makai Mitchell, how good he was against Kentucky when he went for 12 and 13. Well, he's on his way to another double-double here tonight. Left-handed off the window, and then going down the floor. No communication leads to an easy dunk by Lawson and a little parade wave defensively. That's not going to get it done.
18 points in the paint. 18 to the 31 now for Arkansas. As you look at the last 2 games for Makai Mitchell, he has had a renaissance. 12 points, 13 rebounds against the Wildcats, and 10 points, 5 rebounds already in the first half tonight.
You're talking about a guy that on the season is only averaging 5 and 3.5 boards.
Both these teams are looking for a spark. They're going to need some heroics from guys that we didn't mention in the open, Mark Wise, like a Makai Mitchell.
And here's good news if you're a Mizzou fan. Missouri is the first team to get into the bonus.
17 fouls, 6:14 to go. Arkansas and Missouri. The difference there is Missouri a much better free throw shooting team, 77% on the year, including the guy that'll toe the line here. Bates is at 94%. Bates is still the only player in D1 shooting 50 from the field, 40 from 3, and 90 from the line. And calmly buries the first one. Don't forget, every Thursday on the SEC Network and the ESPN app, we'll have a women's basketball doubleheader for you this week. We're featuring the first game between the Lady Vols and the Lady Bulldogs. Coverage beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on the SEC Network.
All of Bates' shooting numbers are career best for him.
10-point game as we approach 6 minutes remaining in half number 1.
Blocker having a possession at the point.
Graham runs out of real estate. Mitchell finds the cutter. Kick out. I can't believe Mark passed that up. 3 to shoot. Mark driving, finishes with the left hand.
Why is it some left-handers, everybody in the building knows they're going left, and they can still get left?
And then another turnover on Missouri. That's 6.
Take another look. Mark is going left. Everybody knows it, and he still gets there. Off the window, high degree of difficulty. Wonderful finish.
If you're Anthony Robinson, you can't let him go left, right? One of the first things you'll see on the scouting report. And now Arkansas gives it right back. The turnover on Graham. Coming over, and then Graham swatted the shot by Robinson out of bounds.
Bates makes the right read, moves the ball ahead at the correct time. After the ball fake, it's always the guys trailing, isn't it, that gets the highlight blocks, and this time it's Graham.
Arkansas, one of the best shot blocking teams in all of college basketball. Here's a guy that loved to get cranked up in Aiden Shaw. He's flashed from time to time, had 14 against Georgia. East buries the 3. Big shot for Mizzou.
East is shooting the ball with such confidence this year. 46% from bonus lane.
Rather quiet first half for East, just 5 points thus far. Under 5 minutes to go, first half. There's Mark. And gets cradled and held, and now we're going to untangle everybody as Anthony Robinson got caught up in a game of Twister. Ono will check back in for Mizzou. Both these teams last year in the NCAA tournament, it was a incredible first season for Dennis Gates as the head man for the Tigers. And for Eric Musselman, you take a look at what they've done in Fayetteville the last 3 years. No SEC team has had more success.
Sensation
in the postseason. 2 Sweet 16s and the Elite 8. That's going to be an offensive foul on Arkansas. That'll go against Layden Blocker, the talented freshman.
One of the things that I like about Dennis Gates is his calm demeanor, his calm leadership style.
Yep.
And he talked to us Saturday and at the South Carolina game in terms of his leadership. And that's what he loves to kind of mold young men, and that's what he's doing.
Honor tight ropes the baseline, finds Shaw and gets it back. This is Robinson. Robinson, a lot of dribbling, and then throws up a block shot. Offensive rebound by Bates' block. Here come the Razorbacks, leading the pack all the way, and the finger roll finish by Menafield.
Again, it's moving the ball ahead at the right time. Impressive by the Hawks so far.
4 blocks by Arkansas in this first half. And now another jump ball. Missouri will keep it on the arrow.
Everybody wants to catch the ball and put it on the deck.
And East will come right back in. I think when in doubt, 55 in white. That calming influence you were talking about, Sean East typically gives Missouri that. Robinson, the freshman from Tallahassee, inbounds to East. Bates passed up the 3 and then draws a bump foul from behind. That's shooter on shooter. Mark with the foul. we had a little bit of griping from the Arkansas bench as we go to timeout with 3:50. You're looking at a situation right now where the teams that are on the right side of the bubble, according to Joe Lunardi, who issued another one here today, another bracket. Mark, I just don't see, you're not going to get any bad losses when you look at the schedule, right? So unless you go into a swoon, which is possible in this league, it's an unforgiving league.
Right.
I think the teams that are in, most of them are in rather comfortably.
Well, the teams that were flirting with the bubble maybe 2 weeks ago in terms of Ole Miss, Mississippi State, South Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, they've all jumped up.
Yeah, exactly.
With significant wins.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Lunardi has the Gamecocks as a 6 seed with wins over Kentucky and Tennessee. That was not the case a couple weeks ago. Inside, Mitchell's great night continues on a dime from Menafield.
Again, Menafield, the unselfish play right now in this game so far. Arkansas with more assists than turnovers.
And another turnover on Mizzou.
Missouri's on-ball defense not very good. It leads to a 2-on-1. It's up to Menafield to read it correctly. He does. The dump off, and Mitchell's getting to make a habit of that easy little two-handed flush.
We have to start looking up career numbers for Mitchell. He's already got 12 and 5 in this first half. Arkansas shooting 60% from the field.
See, that's the kind of shot Menafield does not need to do as a point guard.
Bates pounded in the corner by Davenport.
Davenport was daring him to drive right.
Shaw can't get it to drop.
Good point guards understand a lot of the time your scoring comes late in a possession, late in a shot clock. That's a much better. The offense came back to Menafield, so I'm okay with that shot.
Friendly bounce off the teardrop. It's a 13-point lead. The Razorbacks have hit 6 out of the last 7. Davenport blocked a shot. Another block for the Razorbacks. Another run. Slam dunk for the freshman blocker.
Wow, get on your elevator, young fella.
Came out of the gate strong. Leaking. And was not going to be denied on his path to the rim. 3-ball off the mark for Missouri. 15-point advantage for the Razorbacks with 2 minutes to play.
Good defense usually leads to easy points. After the out-of-control play, the steal, the turnover, the run-out, the flush. The Hogs taking advantage of some sloppy play by Missouri.
Tigers are on a 3-minute scoring drought. Well, I'll admit it, Mark. I'm surprised. I didn't think either one of these teams would be able to separate this much in the first half.
But what's been the missing ingredient in the Arkansas recipe this year? It's basically been good point guard play.
Right.
And right now, they're getting good point guard play.
And they've avoided a slew of turnovers, which at times has plagued this Arkansas squad. Largest lead for the Razorbacks. Under 2 minutes to go. Carter on the elbow. Muscling in. East.
That's an offensive
foul. Another turnover on the Tigers.
This is an excellent call because East used his arm to create and get around the defender.
Second foul on East. Graham inside Mitchell. Boy, Mitchell, he might not get back on the plane.
I'm curious because we talked about the Kentucky game. In that game, Arkansas was +2 in points in the paint, +5 in rebound margin. That's something they had not been winning. Maybe this is a little bit of a carryover.
Carter lines up a 3. Mitchell with his 8th rebound to go along with 14 points. Razorbacks in the midst of a 10-0 run. What they've done as a result of their play, they've taken this crowd, which is a pretty strong one on a Wednesday night here in Como. They've taken them out of the game. Mitchell, and one of the rare mistakes that will lead to a turnover. Mitchell thought he was bumped.
Now, I love Mitchell's play, but I'm not sure Muss wants him dribbling, driving from 20 feet.
Yeah, that's not exactly the one they drew up in practice. 61% Arkansas from the field to 30% for Missouri. What do you like to say? Make shots?
Make shots, man.
One team has, one has not. Carter inside, carving out space. Can't get it. There's the follow by the freshman Butler.
Nice shot by Butler. If you want to be an offensive rebounder, don't hold the camera. Get in the picture.
Razorbacks will play for the final shot. Mitchell. A fade and fire. Wow, that's a heat check. The follow, no good. And that will bring us to the end of half number one.
I think they may see if, I think there was a foul call.
There was a whistle. I thought it came, excuse me, his 15 points, 13 rebounds. His career high, you got to go back to his days in a Rhode Island uniform. 19 points is all-time high, obviously on pace to eclipse that if he continues his fine play. Mark, what do you want to see out of Missouri to get back in this game?
Better shots. I really felt like Arkansas kind of dictated the shots they got, but again, Missouri has no rim protection, no paint protection. I do like the early offense, though.
Great ball movement, sets up East. Now Honor on a deep three, got it.
Because of Honor's size, so many times his three-point shots are well beyond the arc. Doesn't matter. He is so solid. They're 40% this year and 40% from the arc his last 2 seasons.
First points for Nick Honor of the game. Blocker draws a foul on Nick Honor.
The blocker got away with it. Happy feet once he caught the ball. I talked about Nick Honor and his range. Look where he is. He's in the S of Norm Stewart almost.
Of course, Norm Stewart, the legendary Missouri coach for years and years. It was Norm versus Nolan. We might be talking about the same type of rivalry years from now. Gates versus Musselman.
Graham was really good early.
Banging bodies with Carter, gets enough space and drops it.
This is almost a new look Arkansas team, the way they're pounding the ball inside. And if they can start getting consistent performances from guys like Mitchell off the bench.
And one for Tamar Bates. Great response on the other end.
And Graham. Graham is almost, they're playing basically the same position. So you almost want to throw their production together.
It's worth repeating. They're doing all this without Trevon Brazile.
Bates again, slasher, gets to the rim. I said this in the open, he has an uncanny ability to either score and get fouled. And that time, he got both.
Well, how many times as a former coach did you used to say, don't leave your feet unless you know exactly what you're doing? He has the ability to glide in the air where he leaves off his foot and still makes good shots.
I think the new block charge rule benefits guys like Bates.
Complete dissection by Arkansas on the other end leads to the Lawson slam. Missouri cannot afford to trade baskets. Arkansas getting buckets at will here to start the second. Bates.
Mike, right now Arkansas is doing to Missouri what no other team in the league has done.
Oh, Graham goes Euro right to the bucket. Points in the paint have been dominated by Arkansas, 38-10. Another turnover and a double dribble by Graham. Will turn it over right back.
Take another look at the steal, the run out. Watch this by Graham. Oh my goodness, is that athletic for a guy 6'10". 1, 2. Yeah, that's legal.
Well,
he covered a lot of ground in that triple jump move.
And think about the last line of defense. You've got a 5'10" Nick Honor. That's a tough matchup for Missouri on the defensive end. And now Missouri going to try to bring in some size. We'll get our first look at Mabor Majok, 7'2", number 45 in white. 12 turnovers now on Missouri. And this has been, again, of all the possible scenarios of this game, it would have been hard to see this one coming.
I had an old coaching friend who used to tell me, you know, twice a year you're going to play lights out, no rhyme or reason. And twice a year, your team is going to look like they've never practiced a day in their life. Maybe this is just one of those that Missouri's going to eventually have to flush out.
Yeah, everybody seems to have at least one of those mulligan games, I call them, in the SEC, where night in, night out, you're looking at an absolute battle. But what makes this one surprising is that it's at home. Arkansas is doing this damage away from home. Mitchell finds a slasher and an easy bucket for Mark. They haven't needed Mark scoring as much. He's only got 8 because everything they're getting is in the lane. East. Tough pass, almost another steal for the Razorbacks. And a nice take to the bucket that time by Kurt Lewis, the reigning National Junior College Player of the Year, John A. Logan.
It wasn't pretty, but effective.
The last 2 JUCO Players of the Year have hailed from John A. Logan. Sean East was the winner of that honor the year before. There's a block by Missouri. And Arkansas players down on the other end. They'll let the possession play out of bounds, and now they'll stop. And Arkansas will hope for the best for Khalif Battle, who is clutching his left leg.
Battle took a drive on the left side of the floor, baseline side. Take another look. Here comes the drive. And he steps on the foot, I think.
And then landed awkwardly
of Carter. And he kind of has a, as you called it, an awkward landing.
And that was just all kinds of unorthodox and uncomfortable. And the good news is Battle's able to walk off, take a seat on the bench.
I was watching Battle, and he kind of waved the trainer off. That's always, I think, a positive sign.
You know, it's funny, we were asking Eric Musselman today at practice, what are the keys to the game? One of the keys, he said, transition defense. No, it's his transition offense that is leading. Majok, nice offensive rebound, sets up a 3. Bates flying in. Bates will go to the free throw line, and maybe that'll spark the crowd and spark this Missouri team.
That's good board work that time. Missouri getting a second shot opportunity.
But again, Arkansas, one of the goals was to stop, because Missouri is so good at turning you over and getting buckets in transition. That was a huge part of their game last year. Right now, fast break points, 15-0 Arkansas.
Well, nothing has come easy, certainly for Missouri.
The other part of the equation for Eric Musselman and his staff, ball security. And they always try and stop the star. Well, the star has been Tamar Bates. They've held Bates to 2 of 8 from the field and 10 points so far.
And yet, when I told Coach Muss as we departed, make good luck, make shots, as I do to every coach, what did he say? That's the key. That's the key. Make shots.
They've made them in abundance, and most of them they've made have been right there in the paint as Jalen Graham taps it in. Bates on the other end, an acrobatic slam.
I love the early offense in response by Bates.
13 now for Bates. Mark left alone. A rare miss, and then a foul down low on Makai Mitchell.
And Mitchell was shaking his head. He knew he got caught. In transition, maybe
Mizzou who paved the way at NCAA tournament that you mentioned for Dennis Gates and company last year. They defeated Utah State in the first round before losing to Princeton in the second round. But last year, Missouri was one of the best stories in college basketball with that successful run.
And Missouri driving to the baseline and wanting to kick the ball out. Arkansas has covered it, blanketed that.
Pull-up jumper from Bates, who's got 15 now. He's heating up. They need more of that, but they need some stops. How are they going to get them, Mark?
I think they're going to have to kind of clog the middle and just dare Arkansas to shoot from the perimeter.
Arkansas has been feasting with points in the paint. And now Mitchell draws a foul on the 7'2" Majok. Majok out of the South Sudan.
I like the fact that Dennis Gates is not afraid to go deep into that bench.
Majok typically logs more minutes against the bigger teams and bigger opponents. Arkansas, especially without Brazil, is not that big of a team, but clearly they've been big enough to dominate inside. Graham left alone. One-handed 15-footer. That was like something out of a 1958 black and white reel.
I started to say an ABA free throw. Which, of course, dates me.
Bates running right into Graham. Never saw him coming. Open three from the wing. Another whistle down low. Mitchell was crashing, and I think he might have gotten pushed out of the way by Kurt Lewis.
I talked about what Arkansas took away from Missouri so far tonight. It's that baseline drive and the ability to come back to the middle of the floor. Graham is there for the double and the steal. Missouri really likes to drive the ball baseline side, have what I call a blast cutter from the other side. Missouri refers to it as a 45 cut. But Arkansas has basically taken that away.
Graham inside. Drops it off to Mitchell. What a dime. And Arkansas now with 46 points in the paint.
Why is it big guys always want to be guards?
Can't help it. They want to have some of the fun too. Arkansas gives up a three. That is Lewis. That's a good sign. They like the minutes they've been getting out of the former National JUCO Player of the Year, Kurt Lewis. He was actually a great three-point shooter at the JUCO level, but has struggled to get hot at Mizzou. There's a steal. On the attack, Whiting finishing, and one for Tamar Bates. 17 for the junior out of Kansas City.
Both of these teams have extremely lengthy perimeter players. Bates with the great hands, and watch this step through. Look at how much ground he covered without dribbling. And Graham, should I call him the assist man now? Jalen Graham?
Hey, big men can get assists too. It's legal. 15-point game now.
Don't look now.
Now Bates with 11 in the second half has helped spark the Missouri run, but again, you got to get some stops. Graham just throws it up there. Mitchell at another rebound, and Graham gets it back, and Graham is fouled.
But that's a good foul by Vanover, and that's one that Dennis Gates can live with. The ball kind of got bounced around, and instead of giving up an easy deuce, Vanover did what you're supposed to do as a big, take your fouls at the rim.
Now Gymnastics taking over the SEC network every Friday night. And this week, doubleheader starts in Athens with number 18 Georgia hosting number 8 Florida. Then it's 7th-ranked Kentucky battling 6th-ranked Alabama at Coleman Coliseum. Friday night heights each week right here on the SEC network. Second free throw, splashes for Graham.
And that's been a struggle for Graham at the line. He was just 10 of 25 on the season.
Open three. That time it does not drop for Lewis.
He just gets so high on his jump shot.
Transfer from Houston. Mitchell got his hands on that ball. In transition, it's Mark again. You know, Mark was not a great scorer on that Houston squad, and we asked the Arkansas camp, why did he leave a winning program? He just wanted to prove that he could score a little bit more. He still has a great relationship with Kelvin Sampson. They left on good terms. It's the kind of transfer story you like to hear more of.
It seems like every time Missouri has turned the ball over, it's been live ball turnovers, almost pick sixes, if you will.
Second attempt. Vanover passed it up right under the goal. Bates on a three. Well, it works out in the end. 3 is more than 2, so you'll take it.
Bates, you called it earlier. He's in that 50, 40, 90 club. He doesn't shoot a lot of threes,
right,
but he makes his shot.
Efficient. Everything about his game is efficient. He's 6 for 12 from the field, 50% again from the floor. But again, this has been the problem spot for Mizzou. They can't get consistent stops, and when they do, it's an offensive rebound. There's a stop. Here's an opportunity. Oh, goodness. He's trying to throw it to Vanover, 23 feet from the basket, and there's Mark making him pay on the other end. 15 Missouri turnovers.
East wanted to hit Bates on the right wing, but at the last second saw that he was covered and tried to do a little audible pass. Vanover wasn't ready for it, nor should he have been. Numbers.
Benefield.
I don't like that shot.
Bit of a force. And now Bates beating everybody down the floor, and he got shoved from behind the hoop and the harm on Battle. 23 now and counting for Tamar Bates.
Your first issue in transition defense is what kind of shot do you get? It's a poor shot.
A road win at Kentucky.
By the way, you know the only other team that doesn't have a quad 1 win in the league?
That does not have a quad 1. Now, the way you pose that question, it's going to trip. It's going to trip the average person.
Correct.
So, in other words, it's not Vanderbilt.
No, it's Auburn.
Now, that's shocking.
Yes.
They'll certainly have opportunities as the season moves along.
Plenty. And do we have to put South Carolina now in Tier 1?
I would say so.
I think so, don't we?
I don't think there's any question. Mitchell gets fouled again as he continues to work on his best game of the season. Already a double-double with 16 and 10. Yeah, I mean, you're the Gamecocks. You've got, what, 4 quad 1 wins if you include Grand Canyon and Virginia Tech to go along with Tennessee on the road and Kentucky at home.
And South Carolina, who relies on that three-point shot a lot, they made 10 in that one against Tennessee, and they were plus 15 in three-point differential. But here was the shocking thing to me. Mack and Michi Johnson were 2 for 13.
Right. There you see, Fish asked the question, how many? I think 8 is a really good bet, but there's potential for more. There's meat on the bone left for a team like Florida, for example, trying to pull off an upset right now in Lexington. Honor.
There's just nowhere to go.
Bottled up. Just went right into a double team. Fortunately, Missouri has the arrow.
They have dribbled to that short corner so often, and Arkansas has utilized their length. The guards can't find anybody.
East comes back into the game. That'll give Tamar Bates a breather. I have a feeling number 2 in white will not be on the bench very long. This is Carter, and he stepped out of bounds.
And it's just been one of those kind of nights.
I mean, that's, again, obviously an unforced turnover. 16 giveaways on the night for Mizzou. Manafield dribbling into traffic, almost coughed it up. And now a walk. Just a bad possession that time for Arkansas. This team has tested the patience of Eric Musselman. He was very open with us today at practice, and he's been very public about the fact this has been one of his most challenging years as a coach. Sometimes when you have all the roster turnover that we have these days in college basketball, it doesn't always turn up sevens. There's a lot of snake eyes that can enter the equation, and at times it's felt like that this year in Fayetteville. Mitchell, however, has other ideas about how this game is going to turn out. Another rebound at 17 points, 11 boards.
How about this? 11 different Arkansas players have started at least one SEC game. That does not lend itself to consistent play at all.
No. Mark skating and traveling.
Yeah, again, the left-hander wants to come back over his right shoulder. Carter did a good job of taking it away.
Tenth turnover on the Razorbacks. With 9 minutes to play.
Can Mizzou kind of get a 6-0 run or something like that to kind of give them some hope as we get into the last 2 segments?
Well, I mentioned I didn't think Tamar Bates would be on the bench long. That might have been 30 seconds, but he's back out there, and he's part of the answer to your question.
You're saying his seat did not get warm?
No, I don't even know why he sat down. He could have just stood for 30 seconds before checking back in. And he's been terrific in this second half. Honor tries to hit the slashing Najak.
He kind of stumbled, got off balance.
Tap out, and it's hustled by East, who's fouled by Davenport.
You know, every once in a while you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I feel like Davenport has gotten his fouls all in the same way.
Yeah, that's 4 on Davenport. And think about this. If you're going to mount a comeback, Mark, 8:33 to go. Arkansas is already, Missouri is already in the bonus. So you got a lot of time to chip away here, either at the free throw line, the 3-point line, or anywhere in between. .83% of the free throw line is Sean East. Originally out of Louisville, Kentucky. I mentioned his JUCO path, John A. Logan, JUCO powerhouse, where he was the player of the year before packing his bags for Como. 15-point game.
Well, that's a good start on a 6-0 run, perhaps. All coaches think that constantly during the game. You're either thinking 6-point runs or, you know, what some coaches refer to as kills, getting 3 straight stops.
Right. There's another steal. Turnover, Robinson all the way. He's bumped and fouled on the floor, and he'll go to the line. A 1-and-1. Again, in the bonus for a long time here in this second half. Another 8 minutes and 14 seconds to be exact.
Again, it's all because of the turnover, the bad decision on offense. Right now, if you're Arkansas and Eric Musselman, you're telling your team, just don't help them. Let's get what we want offensively, but don't help them. Turnovers help your opponent.
Robinson, the freshman from Tallahassee. Two for two.
Well, I just kind of picked 6-0 run, but that's 4 in a row, all at the free throw line.
Take them any way you can get them right now. Mark behind the back to Mitchell. Back to Mark. Hot potato turnover. Here comes East and Mizzou. To Bates. With Mitchell, that's a mismatch right here. See if he tries to take him off the bounce.
He's going to go left.
Bates on the drive. Dumps it down low. Rejection by Arkansas. Top floor by Jalen Graham. And then a whistle. And it's going to go the way of Arkansas. What a block by Graham. 7:40 to go. Razorbacks up by 13. These hats off of our headsets. I'm not saying it's not a good look. I'm just saying from a comfort standpoint, it really had a shelf life. This Arkansas lead has had a shelf life for most of this game. They came out hot and they have not looked back, but Arkansas has outscored Missouri. Excuse me, Missouri has outscored Arkansas 30-26 in the second half.
But one of the ingredients to being a good point guard, make free throws. Minifield did that by making 2.
Arkansas gets to the line a bunch. Missouri doesn't get there much at all. Quite frankly, I was a little surprised by the free throw numbers for Arkansas. Their ability to get to the line, because they've struggled in a lot of areas, and yet they continually shoot more free throws than their opponents. And here's a guy who's going to want to become a good free throw shooter. Good chance he might draw more fouls when he's in there. At 7'2", 245 pounds. That one drew rain. I think that might have hit a couple of the banners hanging from the rafters.
Well, his ball rotates, but it doesn't rotate end over end.
No.
It's almost sideways.
It's a horizontal spin. Reminds me of Joakim Noah, the former Florida Gator, with his unique free throw touch. The Razorbacks haven't hit a field goal in nearly 4 minutes. Mark. The shot clock bleeding down under 10. Mark has it rattle out. A chance to cut it to 12, maybe 11 with a 3. The drive, the finish, no! Halfway down and out for Kurt Lewis.
What a great move, though.
How did that not go down?
Arkansas's got to be careful of playing a little bit too conservative. A lot of possessions to go in this game.
Inside Mitchell, and his season high continues to augment. He's now got 19 to go along with 13 rebounds. And a heads-up play that time by Minifield to throw it off of Majok and earn the possession for the Razorbacks.
Take another look. A jump bounce pass by Minifield, and Mitchell again delivers at the rim. No rotation defensively, and that's an easy deuce.
It's been a long road for Minifield to get to Fayetteville from Flint, Michigan. Went to prep school in Arizona, then went to Washington, then had to wait for clearance by the NCAA, and now playing some good basketball for the Razorbacks tonight. Graham, little jump hook shot, and that's going to be over the back.
Yeah, I didn't like that possession nearly as much. Graham at 6'10", trying to create off the bounce, compounds the problem by committing the foul. That's the one thing that Arkansas does not need right now.
This is rare territory for Lewis. He came in just 1 for 4 from the free throw line. Now Saturday we have another college basketball quadruple header for you that tips off at 1 o'clock Eastern time, including the Auburn Tigers traveling to Oxford to take on Ole Miss. That'll be Saturday at 6 o'clock. You and I had the first matchup between those two at the Auburn Arena. That was one of Auburn's best performances of the year. Ole Miss just had the doors blown out early. Auburn can do that to you, particularly at their building.
A little bit different look now. Mark at the point. What a matchup, though. Our two stars that we featured.
Bates and Mark. Mark gets by him, lighting, firing. No, and Mitchell tomahawks it down. Are they going to wave it off? I believe KB Burdett says basket interference.
But they can go look at it, and I think he gave the signal that they'll go look at that at the under 4 timeout. See, there's the baseline drive, and Arkansas has just clogged up the middle. They have taken away the cutting action of Missouri.
East did a lot of dribbling to earn that foul, and he'll go to the line for 2 as we take a look at that call on the other end.
Yeah, the original call is basket interference. Mark goes left. It comes, Mitchell comes up middle of the rim. That ball's way off.
But there's 6. Blocker grabbing the rim.
Good catch.
Yeah, I was with you. I said I didn't think Mitchell.
That was what I first
yeah.
saw and thought. That won't be a long review.
Blocker owes an apology to Mitchell. He took 2 points. Right now, Mitchell is saying, come on, man, you just took away another bucket for me. I'm having a...
Mitchell trying to get a new career high, and he's got teammates taking points away.
That's right. He's already got a season high. His career high came at Rhode Island. East knocks down the free throw.
And because Graham just fouled out, they're going to shift the lineup a little bit. Davenport's going to play the 4.
I'll mark that down as a possible factor here in the final 5 minutes as Mizzou tries to mount a comeback. Arkansas already down 1 big in Brazil. Now no Graham the rest of the way. In transition, leading the pack and laying it in is Bates.
Watch out. Arkansas has kind of lost their aggressive play in the half court.
26 points now for Tamar Bates. And the fans coming alive in Como.
Trying to play a little bit of a clock game with a late ball screen.
Mark with a silencer.
But that time he didn't go too far. He took what the defense gave him.
16 for Mark. Now Missouri turns it over. And East just lost the handle, and there to pounce on it, Layden Blocker.
It's like East's dribble sometimes goes faster than his body.
18th turnover of the night on Mizzou.
I like Mark out here as the decision maker much better as a scoring option late in the clock. Here comes the screen. Let Mark make the play.
Mark gets the whistle, the foul on Robinson. And that'll bring us to our final 2 category, right?
And remember that the net ranking is a breathing organism. those numbers can change
Right.
hourly, daily, weekly. So
Well,
what might be a quad one win today may not be tomorrow, but I have a feeling that one will be a quad one win.
I have a feeling Kentucky's not going to leave that category anytime soon. That is still an immensely talented team for Coach Cal, but give Florida credit. That is a much-needed victory for the Gators on the road. Missouri looking for a much-needed win in conference play against anybody.
That time, Bates with a nifty helper.
A high-rising Aiden Shaw, one of the best leapers in this league. Razorbacks bleeding some clock now. Mark, rising fire. Flying in with the offensive rebound and drawing the foul is Layden Blocker. They've gotten some really good minutes out of the freshman tonight.
Again, it's late in the clock because Arkansas's got the floor spread, and everybody kind of gets Mark watching in terms of Tremont Mark. And Blocker was able to sneak in and get that offensive rebound and get himself to the free throw line.
Blocker at 63% on the year as a free throw shooter. Freshman from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Well, he certainly wasn't shooting. There's some discussion if it's the bonus or not. I thought that was an easy figure out.
Each team will have the benefit of the double bonus the rest of the way.
You want more minutes in a game that really matters, make your free throws.
Very often when you're in the driver's seat as Arkansas is, the only way you don't hold on to win it is if you don't make your free throws.
Right.
You and I can always see it from our vantage point. Players that want to have that opportunity and ones that shy away from it. East bottled up inside. And then Honor throws it. Nope, deflected. A reprieve for Missouri. They'll have it with 11 seconds to shoot.
But haven't you been impressed with Arkansas's ability to eliminate Missouri's kind of get into the paint and fan passes out? They've been active. They've been in gaps. Their hands are active.
Well, it goes back to something you and I talked about with Coach Musselman at practice today. As you see the three ball kick off the iron, and now Arkansas. Davenport lost it. Great hustle play. A steal and a bucket for Robinson. And a quick timeout called by Missouri.
That just wasn't a strong rebound by Davenport.
A timeout on the floor. Paint for Arkansas.
Plus 32 in that category.
I mean, that's
hard to overcome.
Extremely. Arkansas almost turned it over. Davenport alley-oop to Mitchell. He missed a shot, the easiest one he's had all game. Eric Musselman's about to have a conniption on the sideline. Bates on a three. That would be huge. Honor tapped it. Missouri cannot corral it.
Robinson made the right play and was trying to save it into Bates. Bates was already getting back on defense. Well, now Missouri's just going to double the ball. They're going to force the issue.
2 minutes remaining. Seven to shoot. Mitchell, kick out, wide open three. Yes! Manafield with a dagger.
How good has he been tonight now? 14 points, 3 assists, 1 turnover. Maybe Eric Musselman is finding his point guard.
Maybe he is. They've been searching for one all year long. And an and one by who else? Bates. 28 points for Bates with a chance at 29 at the line.
We talked about it in the open. Bates, number 1 in free throw percentage in league play, number 2 in field goal percentage, number 5 in scoring. And his field goal percentage number in league play is just a ridiculous 59%.
And a perfect performance at the line tonight, 10 for 10. Full court pressure dialed up by Mizzou.
Zone press this time, a diamond and one, kind of a traditional.
A bump foul from behind by Robinson. You know, one guy we have not mentioned tonight for Missouri that they hope to have back soon, it would be a huge factor if they could get him back in the lineup. That's Caleb Grill. We watched him practicing today. He's got such a smooth jump shot. They were 7-2 when they had Caleb Grill in the lineup. And he's been nursing that non-shooting wrist after the surgery. Again, the wrist is okay, but the conditioning, trying to get him back in game shape, that's the factor right now.
He got off to a really slow start shooting the ball this season, and just before he got hurt, in the previous 3 games, he was 7 of 18 from distance, so was just finding his groove. No question he would help this team.
Yeah, I mean, he was certainly a guy that they were counting on this year to stretch the defense, provide some perimeter shooting to help guys like a Tamar Bates, like a Shawnees.
Missouri, Mike, is going to have to find a third scorer.
Yeah. Honor dials up a 3 from the corner. And the pressure.
Much better job by Mark, though, who caught the ball and evaluated.
Davenport in trouble. And a foul on Honor. With exactly 60 seconds remaining in this game, if Arkansas holds on, they'll be 2-6 in the league. Missouri would fall to 0-8 in conference play, taking on Vanderbilt on Saturday, who is the other winless team in the league. They're trailing Auburn at last check. That's a road game for Jerry Stackhouse and company.
Right. Perhaps, Mike, this is a Lego game for Arkansas. Maybe this is something they can build on.
Well, by now everybody knows the story. They continually start slow every year, and they've been able to dig out of monster holes. Can they dig out of this one? This would be a different story. But at LSU, Georgia, Tennessee, and Mississippi, again, there's no gimmies, there's no mulligans in this league.
Tell me where you're looking at that schedule and going, I know we can get that one.
I can't find it. I can't find a run. But I know one thing. If Arkansas plays like this and they get Brazil back, there's certainly a lot of winnable games left on the schedule. And I know that man is not going to quit coaching. And this team, to the point we mentioned at the beginning, they haven't quit all year. You see what they've done. They always dig themselves in a hole. People say, oh, what's wrong with Arkansas? And then they've been able to just completely turn it around. That was with 4 NBA players last year. It's going to be a little bit harder to do this year. And as you mentioned, Mark, still trying to find their point guards.
But as I recollect of last year, they dealt with the Nick Smith Jr. injury kind of off and on in that situation. But they didn't deal with a lot of other injuries. This team is different. This team has had such a disjointed lineup from one game to the next, from 1 week to the next. And it's just really hard to find any rhythm when you have that kind of disjointed effort, if you will.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot of adversity that Arkansas, the program, has not seen very often at this point of the season. I mean, to be off to a 10-10, 1-6 start, we haven't seen that under Coach Musselman, who's had such great success. I mean, the moment he walked through the doors in Fayetteville, this program immediately started winning, getting to NCAA tournaments and having success in March.
So if Mitchell, instead of a 5 and 3.5 guy, if he can become a 10 and 7 guy, I think that really helps this team immensely.
He's tied his career high in points tonight with 19. 14 rebounds as well for Mitchell.
I love spacing the floor in your press attack. So many times I see guys have all 5 in the backcourt.
Foul East, and 2 more free throws upcoming for the Razorbacks, who get to the line a lot. This will make it 22 free throws. Actually, Missouri's done a good job getting to the line as well. You've got 22 free throws for Mizzou, and this will be 22 free throws for Arkansas. That one never had a chance.
That looked short.
35 seconds. Shaw. Missouri out of timeouts. All you can do is either get a turnover or foul. And there's a turn. Eric Musselman.
He threw it to the head coach.
He's just going to go nuts. This team has tested every ounce of that man's patience this year.
You got to have a little fun with that, coach. Come on now. He saw you open. How many players would actually throw it to their head coach?
That's right. Some might throw it at him. There's a three from Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson, we didn't see him in the game against South Carolina. He could help this lineup.
No question.
When they get back healthy.
It's an 8-point game. Just saying. If you get a turnover, instead of foul, we'll send Mark back to the free throw line. So he'll tack on to a 20-point night.
I did not see this game being in the 80s.
No, I don't think anybody did. There was no reason to. With the shooting problems, I think the biggest number, the points in the paint tonight for Arkansas. I mean, that is the one. That tone was set early. Easy buckets in the lane. Second chance opportunities off the glass. .56 points in the paint to 30 for Mizzou. Final seconds will tick away. Another nice shot by Anthony Robinson as the freshman's confidence will grow a little bit. A quick foul with 6 seconds to go. Dennis Gates is saying, let's just go ahead and wrap this sucker up.
He wanted a travel call on Mark.
And if you can get a miss here, help me out, Coach. If you get
no, you're out there on that limb. I'm gonna let you go by yourself.
I'm trying to keep fannies in the seats here. It doesn't matter anyway. He made the free throw. I'm trying to come up with some type of math that would have a chance.
It's never easy, even when you play in front like Arkansas did the entire game.
Bates. Another block, and that'll do it. Arkansas puts 91 on the board and wins one on the road against border rival Mizzou. 91-84, your final score. Who knows? Maybe this is another building block for another strong second half for Arkansas.
Arkansas played much better up the middle tonight with their